Let's get started. All right. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Truth Tribe. I'm Dawn Thompson, and thank you for being here. You guys remember that you are all perfect exactly where you are in this exact now moment. Remember, there's nothing wrong with you, and that I love you very much, and that I am always meditating. And when I meditate, I pour pink hearts down onto all of you. So if you're not meditating, you don't have to, but know that catch the hearts, catch the love. That's all it takes. It takes 1, 5, 15 lighthouses, and you don't realize where it trickles down. And I am. Speaking of, I've got an exciting surprise for all of you next week. I'm launching not the new book that you all been listening to and watching that you're getting week by week, which I'm a week behind. My new truth book, Mastering Badassery, but I have another new book, a new journaling book that I'm going to surprise you with next week. So I don't want to get too excited because it's not completely available. It's done, but it's not available. So it's about this whole manifesting thing. So I'm excited. I'm going to share with you another publication under the belt. And you don't think that's what I'm trying to tell you guys about manifesting and the power you have. You don't realize it till you get out of your own way and just let it happen. It's kind of cool, right? So let's talk about, is habitual love limiting you? How many of you are having like emotional overload lately? And it could be in the last 2-3 weeks, but just say 2 weeks in general from that full moon. You're not feeling like yourself, right? And if this sounds like how you've been feeling, it could be because the matrix, or, as I call it, you all know I reference it this way, so you can reference it any way you want, the boxes that we've lived in all of our lives, all of our lifetimes, is burning to the ground. I keep reminding you this, but then we go, I don't understand why this is happening. That's why, right? So this disconnection that's happening for everybody can feel very unsettling, right? And it's all beginning to fail, and it's beginning to disconnect those of us who are moving to this higher vibration, or simply, right, who have been doing the work, from those who refuse to see the shift. And this is this whole separation of 2 planets, 2 Earths that we've been talking about. It's not that there's 2 globes and there's 2 Earths and there's 2 planets. It's that we're living in a different reality. Okay, that's what you're feeling. And so it feels unsettling because it's literally, as we're watching it, burning to the ground in all the boxes. So working on ourselves to let go of all these boxed programs or paradigms, right? These thinking beliefs, these non-truths, right? And so habitual love is the unhealthy love you learned as a child from unconscious adults that were living in the box, okay? Not the adult's fault, whoever, parent, grandpa, family, teacher, I don't care who they are, not the adult's fault. The theme you chose to learn in this lifetime is what it is. That's why you're experiencing it. So this disconnect from habitual love, which is unhealthy love, feels very unsettling. It feels unsure. It feels unstable, right? And it can cause anxiety, even depression, right? Even physical illness within your body, okay? I don't want you to be afraid of it. It's simply your body helping you to slow down and to allow the body a little bit, it's not feeling well, right? To catch up to what your soul already knows is surfacing, okay? And what is surfacing is your badass warrior self, right? Now has all the tools it needs to expand into your new reality and into your new vision that you desire, which is what I was referencing. We have the power to manifest anything we want. And we don't realize, even the lack mentality, we're so badass manifestors that we're badassing abundance of lack, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I am, right? So we have to look at ourselves. So being unclear about that vision that you want, that rattles your unsettled, unsure feelings. That's what's rattling it, because you don't have a vision of what you do want, And we go, yes, I do, but we're really not doing it. We're really not that clear on it, because your body system is being energetically removed from the physicality that it lived in. It's lived upon this planet for its entire existence, right? So your soul, you guys have to remember this, has chosen a physicality of energy for thousands of years. This physicality of what boxed energy, okay? So even though mentally you know that you no longer want to the physical matrix and controlled boxes restricting you from living your most advanced, abundant, joyful self, right? It's still going to be a little bit of a bumpy, a little bit bumpy along the way, that are those bumps are causing you to question if it's a good option. And yes, it's always a good option to pick the vision of healthy love, but we just don't realize that we've been programmed, and the mindset is that you're being pulled from this. You're like, but that's what I know. And it's hard, right? So the more empathetic, and this is typical for water signs, they get the worst, and they get the worst rap on this, right? But the more empathetic you are, the more intensely you may feel this pulling away. It can feel kind of like you're completely out of whack when suddenly you see like your true self for the first time. You're like, whoa, like that's who I am, right? And then the new energy starts surging through you as if you have like this psychic awakening, like to see the easiest, truest, like this truest path, highway on your map towards your vision, right? It's very much like the sun illuminating your lighthouse with light. And so it can get trippy when you're seeing yourself going, I know who I am, but wait. What about that? What about that? And it's making it bumpy. And all of a sudden then this all began kind of this last week, but again, I know a lot of you are feeling it within the last 2 weeks. Okay. So all of this began within the last week, and it's been growing. It's going to continue, right, to grow throughout the weekend and into from this last full moon into this new weekend coming up. Remember the solar eclipse in Aries that happened 2 weeks ago? Okay, it ruled self-worth, self-value, inner child. Your joy center basically got illuminated. Okay, so we're moving into now a new moon, and the reality can be a little bit hard on you, and all of these emotions coming into your mindset, or the visual, right, of simply holographic images, energy images showing up as people and experiences, right? And so that there's multiple versions of you that are showing up as people showing you, right? To ask you, is this the reality you want to live in? I cannot make it any more simple than that. I highly recommend that you start with your vision of who you want to be, then wrapping yourself in a bubble of that light of who you want to be, and simply then disconnecting from anything that is not that, without judgment, without empathy, and switching from empathy to compassion. You all know empathy is like a big thing right now, right? We've discussed this, the difference between empathy and compassion, and several times. And I know empathy is a super big discussion on the planet right now. In the mental health groups, I see it, but I don't agree with it. Okay. Empathy involves feeling other people's pain. And if you are not trained in how to do that, you're going to take it on because you don't like seeing them in pain, understandably, right? And then you will feel the same pain, then both of you are doomed. So I suggest switching to compassion. I'm going to remind you, this is very, very important right now, because the compassion state is, I understand where you're coming from, because in your mind, I've been there too. I've also been there, but I believe in you. Believing in them empowers them. It doesn't just take away their pain and they had no idea how to heal it. Okay. So I see so many are struggling and they're not realizing that we've brought this on ourselves so we can grow. And how do we do this? If it comes at us in relationships from people, you're like, but you're supposed to love me, spouse, family, child, best friend, the BFFs are pulling all crazies out, right? Friendships, whoever. And so if it comes at you from relationships, that relationship reality from the past matrix thinking, that's what it's coming from. Okay. And so it's learned. They learned this unhealthy love. And some of you, plain and simple, I'm going to call it, you learned asshole love, right? Yes, whoever these adults were horrible assholes. You don't need to sugarcoat it. Okay. But we all seek a tiny version of asshole love, because that's the old box matrix teachings of this is what love is for thousands of years. So why wouldn't you? I mean, it's like everybody's like kind of bamboozled, like, I can't believe this. Yes, you can. You're smarter than this. Okay. So the love you learned from your parents is the love that you have been seeking to feel stable, settled, and sure of your realities. And the challenge is not to bring the unhealthy version of their love and to be grateful for their healthy version. They did not know any other way but matrix boxed unhealthy love. They did not know it, because this just happened within the last year, 2 years. Okay. So this new earth is love on steroids, this compassion, this love for yourself, right? Which requires you to create your own vision of healthy love. And as crazy as this sounds, this is the unstable part. Okay. Actually choosing healthy, truthful relationships, loving relationships. So it's as if we have no clue how to create that, given that we've never had the ability to speak it into truth because it was never something to question in the past. That's just what it was, right? So most don't believe that they deserve healthy love. They don't believe that they don't deserve, that they think they deserve asshole love, right? So I don't care how much work that you've done on yourself, my friends, it will still appear as external people revealing holes in your blueprint of thinking. Okay. So if you're struggling with your truth in this new reality, someone was asking to repeat this. No matter how much work that you've done, it's still going to appear this asshole kind of frequency of love. It's called unhealthy love, but people relate to that because they feel like people are being assholes and really they're bringing you unhealthy love. It's still going to appear as external people revealing holes in your blueprint of thinking, i.e. the I'm very abundant and thinking lack, right? Okay. So if you're struggling with your truth in this new reality of thinking abundant love, abundant, healthy love, right? You're going to start, it's because you're feeling separation from your old reality. And if you have been doing the work, okay, you'll have either an ending or dying effect, or you're going to have this detachment or uncaring effect. And people will be like, wow, you don't care. It's not that you don't care for them. It's that you don't care for unhealthy love. And that's the whole point, is you're going to have to stay in that detached mode. Either way, it's easier for you to see it for what it is when you know it's happening. And I'm here to tell you tonight, it's happening. It's happening. So you guys can call it whatever you want. Again, I'm going to touch on the planets in a minute. You can call it the planets. You can call it the solar flares. You can call it Schumann resonance. You can call it, we're moving into the galactic center. Simply others awakening you to your true power. Okay. You can call it whatever you want. This will always be revealed by your closest relationships. They will trigger you to see you and how you choose to fall down or fly above it. So, I mean, I ask myself a lot, like, I've noticed this. Why are so many people drawn to my type of coaching? It's not because I'm giving you some magic healing potion. It's because I'm speaking from truth, and truth gives you confidence, and confidence builds power. And inner power gives you a feeling of a warrior, the warrior that's always been in you, the badass warrior. So any relationship, in any relationship, okay, think of it that way. If you don't know your truth, how the fuck are you going to build a foundation in your relationship out of truth? Because you're already showing up half full with a broken foundation of non-truth, and they can feel it. And they will show you what you look like in their energy match to you. So the good news is that many of you have been working on your 3 T's, as I call them, right? Minding your things, minding your thoughts, and minding your truth. Okay. So your reality is when you're working on these 3 things is now changing. It's drastically changing from you minding the things you want, the thoughts you want, and the truth that you want to live from. And as you remember, it goes from truth to thoughts and creates those things. So if your truth is, I create abundant of lack, your thoughts will be lack and your things will be lack. Okay. So you're no longer, if you're working on yourself, I want you all to get kind of a little pillow pad on your back. Okay. you're no longer interested in small-minded, non-truthful experiences, i.e. why you're pulling away, and you keep trying to use the old you. You keep trying to fit into the old boxed, controlled paradigms. You're going to literally have to create a brand new one all by yourself, right? So now you're all starting to ask yourself, or even wanting to ask yourself maybe, right? What is it that you're feeling when these things happen? Like, what am I feeling here? Is it my stuff or their stuff? Or you're asking yourself, what do you want instead of that? You're not mad at them. You're not judging. You're just going, what do I want instead of that? Because that, no thanks. Because it's always a reflection of if you are accepting habitual asshole love over your choice of healthy love. Irritating experiences are your barometer to show you that temperature of yourself. Okay. So how do you remedy your relationships out of arguments? Like you're in an argument or an irritation with someone, and you own you're getting anxiety and you own it, or you simplify your reality to healthy love connections. If you're getting into challenges with others, how do you simplify that? Do you throw the person away, the relationships away? Some of them, no, they're just having a challenge that you are of reality shifting. So sometimes we don't need to throw people away. We just need to change how you communicate with those people, with those relationships that you're bringing down the hammer with unhealthy asshole love to them, and you don't even know you're doing it. Okay, so how do you determine healthy love that you want? You've got to focus on it and decide what is that. And then you have to decide the things, the thoughts, and the truth that you need to get it. Because most people don't sit and research, what is healthy love to me? What is it that, how do I want to be loved? How do I want to communicate this love? Now, all of you know your sonar has your 5 or 6 non-negotiables on it. That should be your healthy version of love. If you've done it with me and you're not speaking it, you're already behind the game. If you have it, there you go. If you haven't done it, go do it. Okay. It's all over all the tools on the website, the toolbox, the relationship toolbox. It's in the I Deserve It Academy. There's so many ways you can go and learn your sonar to be more clear about who you want to be to create healthy love. But let's just say you know that, because those of you who are on this call, you've been doing the work. What are 3 tips to communicate, like improve how you communicate when you're tripped up? Let's say it's your spouse, your partner, even a BFF, like someone you talk to a lot, right? And because they're close to you energetically. 3 tips to improve your communication with your partner. Again, it could be kids, family, even your friends, right? Let's focus on the biggest paradigm disruptors. I'm just going to focus on your partners, married or just in love, either one, okay? So the 3 steps that I found have watched happen a lot when arguing that help disrupt, reset you back to your truth, because we're getting lost there, is the first one is, I call it the mission vision. Right? You have to get on a mission to your vision. Tony and I have what we call a marriage mission, right? So no matter how heated we get, we both know deep down we're headed still to the same goal. And so my question is are you clear with your vision and your plan to get it with others and or your spouse? Do they even know where you're trying to get to? Or are you just focused on fighting about the dishes or something that hung in the closet wrong, or the dirty car, or no gas in the tank, which are silly things, right? So your number 1 is your mission vision to communicate better. If you don't have that, you will always zigzag off because you don't know where you're going to get there. Okay. Number 2, if you're arguing with someone, take a 15-minute break. Have an agreement that you will take a 15-minute break. Why? Because, and whatever that word is, it's time for a 15-minute break. Here's our asshole love break. It's asshole love right now, time to take a break, okay? Whatever you want to call it. Time alone is what you need to reset your intention over emotion. And that intention of that mission vision cannot get there if you don't remind yourself where you're going, because you're stuck in the emotion. So when you are too upset, you lose perspective and you become regressed, right? Regressed talking to your partner like a 7-year-old who learned asshole love instead of healthy love techniques to express your adult emotions. It doesn't make them wrong. It just means they don't have another tool. Okay. And number 3, this will make you guys laugh. Texting. Okay. This is where I think texting and emailing is actually helpful, because not everything is good or bad. It just is when it's necessary. Now, it can go very wrong at times, of course, right? If you're not paying attention and you're just lackadaisical. But if you're using it intentionally to heal a wound and you're too emotional, when we stop arguing, type out what you mean with intention over emotion, and you start to read your own bullshit on the screen. And you'll correct it before you send it, because that's not what you mean. If you know what your vision is and your mission to get there, that bullshit ain't going to fix it. It helps you to become more clear on your goal of creating healthy love over asshole unhealthy love. So mission, vision, a 15-minute break. I call it a 15-minute asshole break, and texting for a little while. Start texting out what you're trying to say. Emailing, even emailing works too. Okay. But my point is, put it in print. Okay. Does that make sense? Because we get so caught up and then we're literally fighting with someone you love or that you want to grow out of. Back up. Now, this might be someone that, you know, is a friend. You might need to back up for more than 50 minutes. This is what a spouse, you live with them, right? I'm talking about you could do it for an hour or a day and come back the next day after you've had time to write it out and speak it. But when you're texting, you're speaking with that mission vision intact. I know where we're trying to go. This isn't getting us there. How do we get there? Does this even matter if we're getting there? Actually, you're right. It doesn't. And it's a lot easier to drop it and have an honest adult discussion, right? My husband is the best example of working this technique that we use. This is, I'm just giving you what we use, right? Because he struggles with communication. He's not the best at it, right? And he doesn't want not to. He tells me, I want to do better, right? But then he doesn't understand. He was raised to fight for being right over finding solutions. I was raised for solutions, not fighting. And so silence was horrible for me, and leaving the discussion and finding fault for him to focus on was not in my grasp. I don't understand finding fault. So instead, we found to stick with the mission, taking a break and writing it down. It breaks all the old paradigms of childhood because none of those work in those two scenarios. And this applies to all relationships. Challenging people, write this down, my friends. Challenging people are simply to show you when you are out of alignment with your own truth. And I'm guaranteeing you, listen, take it from Dawn. When you are out of alignment with who you are and what your truth is, and that truth on your chart, your North Node, your purpose, and your emotions and your moon sign, all that, your truth. When you're out of alignment with that, challenging people will show up, and then you have free will to decide. Will you step back into your truth, or will you fall back into the box-controlled matrix reality saying you're not good enough, create and manifest more abundance of lack? And these people are simply showing you that you're out of alignment with who you are. That's it. They're not here to hurt you. They're not here to be assholes. They're just bringing the asshole in so you can grow. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm going to go over the planetary update, and then I'll start touching on the questions that are coming in. So hopefully those are all making sense. All right. Planetary update. Friday, there is a new moon on May 19th. It's Friday in Taurus. And it is the first new moon coming to us after an intense several months of eclipse season. And eclipse season offers us the opportunity for grounding and safety, right? Eclipse season, the new moon is going to give us grounding and safety. Eclipse season actually tends to stir up chaos and rapid, accelerated change. It like shoves stuff into you, like forcing you these arguments or changes. It was Mercury retrograde, miscommunications, that kind of stuff. It forced you into those scenarios. That's what the eclipse were doing to get you to wake up. So now this new moon is in Taurus. It's a very earthy, grounded, stable sign, fixed sign. It doesn't like moving. Okay. So this makes it a good time to set intentions that align with the values of stability, of loving earth sign Taurus, because it's a sign of Venus, money, a security, foundation. Uranus, which is also part of that chaos in and out energy, is still close by in Taurus, right? Within 9 degrees of this new moon. So FYI, there might be lingering aftershocks of this unexpected shifts that unfolded over the last few weeks. I mean, even the political scene, the social scene, the digital scene, the screen scene, I mean, the world scene is pretty unexpected shifts that are blowing up left and right. The people are like, wait, what? The burning of the boxes, which is awesome to me. So I want you guys to stay open to unpredictability, given that Uranus is still in Taurus and there's a new moon there trying to get us secure. Uranus is like, let's shake it up still a little bit more, okay? So just be open to unpredictability while finding a solid anchor to draw strength from during the full moon or this new moon, okay? So try immersing ourselves into like nature, body work practices, connecting to our senses are some ways that you can regain center. Breathing, DMT breathing. Remember, when you breathe in, out, and in, hold, out, right? That's DMT breathing. For breathe in for 9, hold for 9, out for 9. Again, all on your TruthTribe wall of information on the dashboard, warrior as well. So with this new moon, it's important to remember that when things seem to spin out of control, as they may have recently, it's likely due to a much needed reshuffling of your priorities. What are your priorities right now? What are your roots? Material stability, living aligned with your values and with your truth and with your relationships, your sensual pleasure, what makes you feel good. Okay, these are all positive topics connected to this new moon, topics that you can set intentions around. Okay, so the new moons have a way of unfolding over several months. So it's patience and a methodical approach as we slowly build ourselves back up from the chaos. Okay, that's what it wants. So one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that when we come to understand through tragedy and trauma, it emerges this potential for empowerment. So thus, whether someone, a spouse, a friend, a relationship is bringing you challenges, and I'm using the word challenge lightly, it could be trauma, pain, emotion. It's been going on for months, right? We can use that trauma to get stuck, unhealthy asshole love inside of us, or to experience what you can call PTG, post-traumatic growth. Okay? Again, manifesting abundance. Where are you going to put it? Right? So basically asshole love or healthy love. Those are your two options when we come into this. We have the ability to rise after all these challenges and the ability to live even better than we did before. It's so much better, right? But it's going to take commitment and dedication to your personal growth in whatever form it takes, which is why I was saying some people are not going to come with you, or they will, but they're going to take their merry old time doing it their way, because it's not their journey to be on your journey, the way you are on that journey. Okay. So remember that new moon intentions should incorporate protection from like negativity, and creating growth in some way for yourself. Taurus loves to build things. It's the sign of building. So get crafty, get physical, plant seeds. It's an earth sign, right? So write your intentions of growth on a note, sticky note, something, write a couple intentions. It's paper, right? So instead of burning them this time, I want you all to go find some dirt, even plant a planter inside your apartment and tear it up in little pieces, get crafty, and I want you to plant it. And allow those intentions to grow. Put them in your garden. Anything that creates growth, start doing that, incorporating that from this new moon. Books, seeds, earthing, go out and earth barefoot. Every day I do it. I walk around most of the time barefoot, right? Writing out growth beliefs, they all count. So whatever you want to grow right now, this new moon within the next few days into 2 months, are really potent because they're in a very powerful building sign. Now, here's the good news. Yesterday, Mercury retrograde was over. It has begun moving forward again today. Now, remember, there's a bit of a shadow. So if things are slow, it doesn't mean no. It just means take your time. It's okay. Take your time. Okay. All right. Everybody here, I am courage. Tap into your thymus. Stimulate your nervous system, stimulate your healing. I am courage. I am love. I am truth. I am courage. I am love. I am truth. Do it all day long. And then also tap in, I am abundant. I am abundant in all that I manifest because I'm a power manifester and I believe in it. Okay. Your challenge for the next week, couple weeks actually, make a vision of your relationship goal. And I mean to the point of write it down. If you haven't written down the kind of relationship, the kind of vision, the kind of outcome you want for that relationship, you're going to feel those bumps that I was referring to. Write it and make a plan for how you're going to get it. The 3 T's. What is the truth of that vision? What are the thoughts you have to have for that vision? And how will you get to that vision? And what will the vision look like in things? How will it look in the world? All right, let's open Q&A. Who's had some relationship arguments that have surfaced only to create clarity and growth? Like they showed up, they upset you, they irritated you, right? But they also created clarity and growth. Anybody have any of that show up? And if so, let me know. So, okay, let me see that these came in. Someone said, so low back pain, feeling unsupported. Oh yeah, exactly. Someone's having low back pain. Energetically, low back pain is security, foundation support, financial even as well. So it's funny, this person's been feeling it in her energy of security. Who she is, what is her truth? What is her new foundation? Because she's probably getting ripped away from an old, and she has to create a new truth. We all do, right? It's just something to look at in a different perspective. So the next one is today's quote. If I read it correctly, said to work on your weaknesses. Yes, it did. So do the bumps you're talking about include weaknesses that we need to work on? Absolutely. It doesn't mean, here's the thing, guys. When people show up and frustrate you, scare you, upset you, traumatize you, irritate you in any way, verbally, physicality, they're in your space or anything, they are showing you, and that's your weak spot. If it wasn't weak, you wouldn't be bothered by it. So we got to look at those weak spots within ourselves and say, you know what, if you ignore them, they're what's tripping you up. But when you're not weak there, it doesn't bother you, right? It doesn't get you tripped up. So working on your weak spots is huge right now. Does that make sense? So the working on your weak spots is a big, it's almost like, well, why would I want to go work on where I'm weak? Because you're just going to take baby steps. You're going to go, no, I see abundance. I'm going to manifest confidence and joy and love. You have confidence only when you give yourself more time to do it and go, oh, I did it again. Oh, I did it again. You may not do it perfect, but no one told you to. Just do it. Okay, so the next one came in. It says, why would we be uncomfortable with receiving healthy love? That's confusing. Okay, good point. I agree. And this is what happens when you awaken. And I mean really awaken, right? To what's going on in the world, to who you are, what your truth is. And you're going to realize your truth is not going to fit in some of you, your family, some of you, the company you're working in, some of you, your friendships that you've had forever, some of you, this new truth. If you're living your truth and you're not in alignment with it, you wake up to see it, you're going to realize a lot of it won't fit. That's why, because you become aware of new truths of love, what love your soul, what love your reality, what people you love, where you want to be, right? But you had no idea that it was even a thing in the world. So it's going to become uncomfortable because, right, it will probably be against whatever your new truth is. It's going to be against or obliterate and burn down every truth you've ever known. So the simplest way to acknowledge healthy love and is like basically move right to what you've been taught. Like you haven't been taught healthy love, right? So it's going to be hard. It's going to be harder to acknowledge and move into healthy love if all you know is unhealthy love, asshole love. And nobody believes it till you wake up and go, okay, is it really okay for me to want this? Yes. Right. And so you have not been taught healthy love in your relationship. So you may express it out into your spouse. Not intentionally, you love them, but you're giving them what you learned, or your kids, or to your family, or to money, to homes, to things, thoughts, and truth. The things become what your thoughts are from the truth that you believe. So awakening to have more is going to be more uncomfortable because it's not been your truth. Like it or not, right? It's not pretty. You don't have to make it pretty. You just have to fill in your energy into that space. Okay. You have to fill your energy into basically creating an opportunity going, okay, where is my weak spot? And I'm going to watch myself. When someone irritates me, I'm going to be like, oh, it's not them. They're just showing up as an imprint, as an energetic frequency, showing me where I'm out of aligned with who I am. That's it. They're just the mirror of energy. They're the hologram of energy. They're the barometer showing you what she said very well, which is, where are my weaknesses and do I have to work on those? Because when people show up to irritate her, yes, she has to see that, which is very well said. It was a good way to interpret that. Awesome. Any more questions? That's it. I did so good tonight. Okay, let's see. I stepped up to my huge change awakening that has been brewing for weeks. Yay! I worked hard to sell my condo. It went under contract in 4 days for way above ask. Yay! So cool. Then I went off my doctor. I went off of my doctor who got me addicted on Xanax for sleep. Wow. It ruins my mind. Brilliant awakening. This is an example, my friend. I'm going to keep reading his comment. But this is a perfect example of a very extreme awakening. When you're trying to break a matrix of the medical system of boxes, they only have one way to treat, and you tell them no, right? You're saying this is ruining me, and they're saying, no, I want you to have more. You are awakened. They are causing you to be out of alignment with knowing you can sleep if you want to. Oh, I love this. You're making me so happy. I only sleep for a few hours a night off and on now, but I will never take it again. I'm not an MD. I go to a doctor to help me, and they almost ruined me. I walked out of the office like, you wouldn't believe. Fuck them. It's been a whirlwind. I'm doing it. He is doing it. Everybody, I want you in your household, wherever you are right now, to give him a private, round of applause. This is what I am talking about, exactly to the T, in print. Thank you, Dan. I cannot express how exact this is. This is how uncomfortable it will be. You're gonna have to fight for you. And I am so overjoyed for him, because what happens is when he took back his power and he said, I want to sleep, and not with that, sleep will still start to come to him organically on his own. He's right. It might take a while, but his body now is weaning from the box. The body will have to take some time to catch up. It will. I promise, when you're tired enough, you'll sleep. So beautiful. So do y'all, my friends, do you hear what's happening? This is going to continue. And if you can embrace that and acknowledge within yourself, you could be terrible at communicating. You're going to have to own it and find a way. You could be terrible at owning your financials and going, no, I'm going to fight for this. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to oversell it. I'm going to make more on it. You could be having a hard time finding a house to buy. And you're going, no, I'm going to find the perfect one for the perfect price and the perfect moment, no matter what the reality looks like in the external. You'll find it, whether you're selling it or buying it. Maybe it's health, what he's talking about, which a lot of people this is coming up for. And I have another girlfriend who was fighting for her health, said, no, I don't want to feel crappy. She went everywhere. She licked the curb and she's feeling better. Very proud of her. We're all having to do this. And I don't care what it is. It can be even as simple as you going, what do I want to be when I grow up now? And it's doing some other, purpose for your career. It could be just mastering how to have fun. It could be mastering what your purpose is. Again, like I said, next week, I'm going to reveal to you, it'll be out in a few days. So I'll send you all a little bit of a social post, but I'll share with you all what's happening is when I just finally let go and I started doing what I know I'm good at, another book got published. It will continue like that because I'm not putting so much stress and I'm just doing it because God's source consciousness is flowing through me to you. when you're selling houses, because that's what you do. God source consciousness is flowing through him out into the world. He said, I want to be healthy. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to feel muddy and cloudy and murky anymore. And God's source energy said, okay, let me give you the words. Fuck off, doctor. It was beautiful. Doesn't mean the doctor's bad for other people, but they are for him, out of alignment with his truth. It's that simple. Cool? All right. Well, gosh, looks like I did a really good job tonight, my friends. Okay. Remember that let's see. I'm trying to remind you guys. There's not a whole lot of updates aside from like I said, I'll be giving you the new book next week. Remember that bringing your friends on to join us in the Truth Tribe, join us on all of the new things. I have new courses. They're all over, 6 new courses that are set onto my website. So much is happening, and I did it too. So I'm proud of all of you who have found that piece where you can move to the next. Okay. And so I want you guys to know that you're doing amazing. You've been working yourself so hard to stay centered and living in your truth. And this is what it means. Pick you, choose you, even if it goes against the boxes, because get ready, more boxes are going to crumble. Don't be upset. You're going to see doctors crumbling. You're going to see institutions the hospitals are crumbling. Political is going to crumble, all of it, all non-truth that you thought was truth is going to start burning, and you're going to get more revelations, more reality shifts, more reality checks. And you're going to be like, holy shit, I didn't think that was true. It's true. That can't be. It's going to come up. So if you're living in your truth, it won't bother you. You'll be like, all right, well, let it go. Dawn said all those non-truths will go away because they're not in alignment with me. All right. I love you all very much. You guys have a wonderful night. Brightest blessings. I'll see you on Monday. Have a good night. Take care.